DeAaron, how good have these last couple of games been for you guys, just in terms of your spirits after, kind of where you were before that?
Winning games always feels good. So being able to get these last two, especially being on your home court, is definitely a booster.
Speaking of that, I know Coach DC has been talking to y'all about protecting home court. Anything that stand out, when you tell me that, because he almost said it with a little aggressiveness.
Yeah, obviously, every night that you come out, you want to be physical. Obviously, you want to get the crowd behind you, be able to get momentum, keep momentum, especially at home is definitely a big thing. But at the end of the day, like you said, we have to protect home court. At the end of the season, most teams that are the best teams in the league are usually really, really good at home, and then obviously pretty good on the road. There's been some teams that are great at home, bad on the road. But winning at home always puts you in a good spot. Nothing?
Oh.
About to say shit. I was about to.
So during 13 for 16 from the field, pretty dominant performance. How good did it feel, which you struggled at times with your shot, over the last few weeks? How good did it feel to get back going?
Obviously, as an NBA player, you see the ball go in the first couple shots, and it starts looking big. But I think a lot of it was just being able to get downhill. I think both threes that I made was in the first half, and I think I only took one in the second half. But just being able to get to the paint, get to my floater, get layups, get to the free throw line, those things open up the floodgates, and you feel good when you're able to get downhill like that.
To that point, obviously, perimeter shooting wasn't quite there. Did you guys make a concerted effort to get that paint touch and kind of go to that bread and butter that you go?
Yeah, we always talk about sprays. I think we had 5 or 6 in the second quarter. That was big for us, and they challenged us to get more sprays. But as I'm getting downhill, if they're not helping, at the end of the day, at that time, it's me one-on-one with the big. And you just want to see if they can move their feet. You don't want to always just challenge the big, because you're not going to get those foul calls all the time. So just trying to get them moving, east to west, and then being able to raise up. I think it's hard for a lot of bigs to be able to move their feet and then also contest a shot. So that's kind of what I'm looking at when I'm going downhill.
DeAaron, you guys managed to hold them to 14 points in that fourth quarter. What was it about tonight that allowed you guys to lock in defensively, especially down the stretch?
Yeah, I think, I don't think they scored the last 3 minutes of the game. Just the activity. I think Keon was big for us. Obviously, guarding PG, who had a game going the whole game, and just being able to be solid and make it tough on those guys. And then Debo comes to the game, gets a big steal, gets a layup. Those things boost the energy, and especially being at home, having this crowd behind you, it makes getting stops a whole lot easier.
DeAaron, the last couple of weeks, you guys have struggled finishing in the fourth. It felt like in the early part of the fourth, you took over, and then you kind of handed it off to Monk, who just kept getting to the line. So how big is it for you guys to be able to come at teams in waves down the stretch?
I think that's huge. Obviously, I came out. They asked me, and I was like, yeah, I'll take a minute. And I think the big thing was the fact that we were able to get stops and able to get out in transition, try to get some easy looks. And I think that's kind of where the game turned for us.
Fox, paying attention to Doug on the sideline, he seemed pretty animated and fired up with coaching on the defense. When Malik was taking free throws, he called you and Sabonis over right before that 15-0 run started. Are you able to share just what he was saying just in that moment to the two of you?
With that, it was we could be aggressive, because I think at the time we might have had 1 foul. So you have 3 fouls to give. So be aggressive defensively, and then offensively at the time, I think PG had 5 fouls, so we wanted to get him in action. Most of it was just continue to do what we were doing. Obviously, we went in the quarter down 9, and I think we were tied at that time. So it was continue to get stops, and be even at that point, we could have been overly aggressive for the next 90 seconds, because we had 3 fouls to give, and we were able to do that, and we were able to get some steals and get out in transition.
With it being a big game of runs tonight, how much did you feel like the pace played a part for you guys offensively, whether in either direction with those runs?
We want to be able to pick up the pace. I think I know the last 2 games, I think we had 31 and 23 again in the last 2 games in transition. So being able to do that, on makes or misses, definitely helps us. And even if you don't create an advantage in those first 4 or 5 seconds, now you have 18, 19 seconds to really get into what you want to run. So It's not always about scoring in transition. It's just about being able to get the ball up the court, and it gives us more time to get to our sets.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Fox. Locker room's open.